Hey everyone, welcome back to the RP Games YouTube channel. My name is Ralph. This is the life and suffering of Sir Randolph Brante. The year is 1140. Just a few days into the year, Mayor Eggman, chairman of the Lesser Quorum and owner of several silver mines, made a speech that caused quite a stir in the province. Though a commoner, Eggman had the gall to demand that the Magran authorities both enforce and obey Imperial law. How dare he? What's the use of the Imperial laws if they aren't enforced as they should be? Even today, any Anizotti nobleman who gets up on the wrong side of the bed can draw a sword and run a commoner through with impunity. These gentlemen may be our rulers, but does that mean that they can defy the Emperor's will? Sir El Borne has been appointed to enforce the rule of law in Magra. How come the Prefect doesn't see this? Really, you're attacking the one person? The one person with an L in his name that actually cares about the commoners, and that's the one you're going after? We commoners aren't trying to seize the noble lot and take over the province, but the rule of tradition is a thing of the past. This is the age of justice. We may not all be equal in its eyes, but even the nobles and clergy must obey the law. The Magran aristocracy is furious with Eggman and demands that he be silenced, but the rich industrialist has too much money, too many connections to be dealt with so easily. Man, I spent so much time negotiating a truce between the nobles and this Eggman guy, and now this? You hear more and more rumors about secret societies of commoners appearing in the city, plotting against noble rule. The gentry fears that Eggman and his peers might be behind this. They have no proof, at least for now. Yeah, and guess whose desk this case is gonna land on? Yeah, one guess will be sufficient, I think. Father Leonard, abbot of the Temple of the Silver Tree and the leader of the New Believers, supports Eggman and has spoken publicly in his favor. The twins themselves entrusted the noble estate with the right to rule over the common folk, but rulers must also care for their subjects. The old fate is mistaken. No commoner should ever be forced to suffer. It is for this very reason that the Imperial law exists. It is there to ease the people's suffering. May those laws be duly enforced. May they serve all the people of the Empire. Great, we're moving towards more and more discontent. It's getting close to unrest now. Magra is going down a little bit. And here we're moving towards the Reign of Terror. Sounds very promising. And guess who's going to be in the middle of all this shit? It's another day at the prefecture. Secretary peeks into your office with a message from the prefect. There's a new case he wishes you to handle. Oh great. You put away your quill and walk to Sir El Borne's office. To your surprise, he happens to have another visitor already. What? There's a graceful figure sitting across from your immediate superior, none other than Octavia Milanides. Yeah, baby, it's my future wife coming to see me at work. Very nice, Octavia. It's so lovely of you. After all the times you have met her in the capital, you expected the Archduke's daughter to be brilliantly lavishly dressed, but her appearance today is modest and formal, with a high-necked dress and a strict bun. However, her demure attire only serves to emphasize her role as a distinguished visitor. Visitor? You see, I can't even speak when she's in the room. A distinguished visitor to the prefecture. You bow to the prefect and the noble Arknian lady. Octavia offers you a curt greeting, then returns to the conversation you have interrupted. So, at this moment, I think I still have a handkerchief of her somewhere. And I have like a champion's ribbon that she put on my sword. So, you know, Octavia and me, we go way back. This matter can brook no delay. Baron El Borne, the young judge, may well wait outside. What? You're sending me out? No way. Nonetheless, Sir El Borne insists that you come in and take a seat. Worry not, Brante, you aren't interrupting at all. Lady Milanides, I was scheduled to meet with Sir Brante at this very hour. I regret to inform you that your visit was perhaps somewhat unfortunately timed. Octavia rises from the soft, high-backed chair. The young Arcanian lady now stands tall, elegant and indignant. "You're out of line, Sir El Borne. Archduke Milanides has graced you with a representative from his dynasty, and you will listen to what I have to say this instant. The Archduke has expressed concern over your matter of governance at the prefecture. You've always been headstrong and eager to infringe upon the freedoms of your own noble estate, but now it appears you find it acceptable to conduct proceedings against our own loyal subjects. Our dynasty has already seen many loyal nobles of the sword arrested or faced with punishment in court. Where will this lead? You mean to enforce your lowly laws against us Arcanians? Do not forget that those laws were written to keep low-born humans in check. Our lives have always been governed by noble honor and tradition, as well as the blood tide that is our heritage. Our only justice is the court of honor. The only rule above us is that of our sovereign, the Emperor, and the twins. Our only duty is to our kin and our forefathers. My ancestor, Sir Milanides himself, granted the boon of nobility to you humans. It would be most unwise to make me regret his decision of old. In the name of Archduke Milanides, I demand that you end any and all proceedings against our subjects at once." Sir El Borne acknowledges Lady Octavia's vehement speech with a calm smile and nothing else. He shows no trepidation, no tremor, nor fear. Even though the lady across from him represents one of the Empire's mightiest dynasties. Lady Milanides, the twins have graced the blessed Arcanian lineage with a boon of long life, yet the world can be quick to change at times. The laws of the Empire now govern the nobles of the mantle, and even the nobles of the sword, along with the common estate. This particular change is not as recent as it might seem. The laws of the Empire are the decrees of the Emperor himself, the twins' chosen supreme sovereign. His laws are his will, which is, as you said yourself, the only rule above us, and that means all of us, from a high-born Arcanian to the lowliest commoner. Presently, the Emperor's representative in our province is Overseer Gaius Tempest, like this prefecture in its entirety, simply obeying the Overseer's will and the laws of the Empire. And pray tell me, Baron El Borne, who is your own sovereign and protector? He is none other than my father, Archduke Milanides. You swore him an oath of fealty and vassalage. It is your duty to follow his word and will. Do you wish for the Archduke himself to address you directly? I tell you, cease this harassment of our loyal noble subjects at once. I will not leave until this order is carried out. Why, Lady Milanides, I'm afraid this is quite impossible. As a servant of the Empire and Imperial Overseer Gaius Tempest, it is my duty to enforce the law. Now, if you will excuse me, Sir Brante and I have urgent matters to discuss. Oh, that is such a burn. Yeah, now of course I'm gonna get drawn into this. Great, thanks, El Borne. The gaze of the Archduke's daughter is locked with the Prefect in a silent struggle. Each expects the other to back down first. Then Octavia suddenly turns towards you. Yeah. Hey, shit. I believe the young judge has more in him than blind obedience. Surely you're able to distinguish a rightful claimant from a threat to the province, are you not? Silence resounds within the Prefect's office. They're both waiting for you to speak. If we support El Borne, yeah, this is basically just a bunch of relationship consequences. If we side with Octavia, justice goes down. That is not a good thing. If I defuse the situation, it costs me 5 willpower, and relationship with El Borne goes up. Good thing I have the diplomacy for this. Octavia knows who you are, and this gives you an opportunity to defuse the dispute and keep the Prefect safe from her ire. You have Lady Octavia's attention now. She may not have shown it in Sir El Borne's presence, but she remembers you from the capital quite well. Skillfully, you take advantage of this connection to reduce the tension. You start by reaffirming her position. Truly, the Archduke has every right to look after his noble subjects. You would never expect an ancient dynasty to abandon the loyal nobles to their fate. Having said that, you shower the Archduke and his noble dynasty with praise, including his brilliant progeny, who has deigned to grace the Prefect's office with a visit. You casually mention your encounter with Lady Octavia at the fencing tournament in Eterna. Yeah, remember me, babe? Huh? I have to admit, Brante, for a human, you fought valiantly indeed. I've witnessed some of the best Arcanian swordmasters at work, and yet your fighting piqued my curiosity. Are you sure it was my fighting? There's a look of relief on Sir El Borne's face as he watches you converse. Still, you return to Octavia's demands. After all, she did not come here for small talk. The Archduke's words carry great weight, but sadly Sir El Borne has no power to decide the matter. After all, he's but a humble servant of the Emperor. Perhaps it would be more prudent to take this matter to the Emperor's overseer, Gaius Tempest, who is also an Arcanian of noble lineage. Just like a moment ago, Octavia winces at the mention of Gaius Tempest. The Emperor's brother took away her noble family's right to represent Imperial authority in the province of Magra. Still, the Arcanian lady considers your words, well, before speaking again. To a certain extent you are right, Randolph Brante. Cannot help but admit it. We Arcanians ought to avoid involving humans in matters of supreme authority. Oh my goodness, you are so full of it, Octavia. It is still my wish and intention that Sir El Borne presents us with an answer. If he absolutely must learn the will of Gaius Tempest beforehand, then so be it. Do not tarry too long with your answer, or you risk angering my father. Octavia rises elegantly from her seat. I thought she was standing. Before she leaves the Prefect's office, her eyes rest on you for a moment. She bats her eyes charmingly and addresses you with a gentle smile, then she's gone. Made another impression, yeah! El Borne pats you on the shoulder, content with the outcome of the interview. Unbelievable, I never expected you be acquainted with Octavia Milanides. My thanks, Brante, you bought me some time. If you hadn't intervened just now, I'd had to defy the law and end all cases against nobles who serve the Archduke. We'll see what the Overseer says about this now. Archduke Milanides is testing the prefecture with his daughter. Otherwise, he'd have asked me to visit the palace personally. He's showing caution, which means we still stand strong, at least for now. We will continue our service to the law without regard for the outmoded ways of the past. But I digress. This is high politics, and the prefecture still has plenty of cases to resolve. Let's get back to our work, shall we? With that, El Borne hands you a new case file. You thank the Baron, head back to your office to study it properly. It's time to get back to work. Aww, there is affection from El Borne. My willpower goes down to 10, so I do need to keep some in reserve, because I think there's duels on the horizon. The repercussions of your most recent encounter with the Archduke's daughter, Octavia, soon manifest themselves. A letter bearing the seal of the great dynasty of Milanides arrives the next day. Inside the envelope you find an invitation to Castle Serpenverde, the Archduke's residence. Wait, me? Visiting the Archduke of Magra himself is a great honor. To decline such an invitation would be an insult of colossal magnitude. You immediately purchase a new doublet in the latest fashion and ask father to lend you a precious family brooch. It depicts the Brante family crest, and the leaves on the oak branch are made of tiny emeralds. Octavia should find it to her liking. Your family cannot help but notice your preparations. Mother watches nervously as you make sure everything is ready for your journey. This odd invitation has me worried, my son. Be careful in the Archduke's castle. They're still of low-born origin. Arcanian intention spells danger to people like us every time. Remember not to displease them, or the Milanideses will grind our family into dust. Come early morning, the carriage takes you away from the border walls of Anizotti. It takes you a full day to reach Serpenverde, along the dusty, sun-scorched high road. While on the road, you read notes on Arcanian traditions and rules of etiquette again and again. To preserve your family's honor, you must make the best possible impression. The provincial powers that be will be watching your every step. And so will Octavia, with her cunning grin. If there is one person grinning, it is Randolph. Only as the sun is about to set, do you manage to spot the dark colossal shape of Castle Serpenverde? A towering fortification of jet black stone spreads across a peak, looming over the bed of a long-gone river. The carriage climbs the narrow serpentine road to the castle gate. Soldiers of the Archduke's guard approach you. You present them with the invitation. The guards eye you with suspicion, but give a signal to open the gate. You're now inside the walls of the Archduke's castle. You'd expected to see many carriages of other guests beyond the gate, but the courtyard is strangely empty. The guards show you to a servant who guides you to a room reserved for guests and leaves you there to wait. The servant soon returns and you follow him through the dimly lit corridors of Serpenverde, lavishly adorned with silver, emeralds, and weapons of war. The castle is silent, there's no noise, no music. It seems completely uninhabited. The sound of your footsteps is smothered by the soft velvet beneath your feet. The servant stops in front of a pair of massive doors made of black wood. This is your destination, he gestures silently. Here she is. Here she is. What's up? You encounter an enormous room, its walls covered in portraits and ancestral relics. In the very center of the room is a towering throne carved of black wood. On the throne you see the delicate silhouette of Octavia Milanides, clad in a black velvet dress embroidered in silver. With a commanding gesture, the Arachnean lady bids you approach. You're here at last. Are you surprised, Randolph? How odd. You didn't think my father would actually summon you to an Arachnean castle, did you? Or are you truly that naive? How sweet of you. No, it was I who summoned you here. Okay, even now I'm grinning for sure. You're alone in the castle. Portraits cover the wall, portraits of Arachneans with dark eyes and jet black hair. They all resemble birds of prey, and their eyes seem to watch you with contempt that makes you uneasy. Allow me to introduce you to my family. Family? This is a human by the name of Brante. What do you think of him, father? She casts a defiant glance at the portrait of the Archduke Milanides. Then she removes a glove from her hand and casts it as well. It hits the great Archduke right in the nose. Octavia laughs at that. Tall walls and innumerable portraits echo her voice. Baffled, you ask Lady Milanides why she has summoned you. What are you doing? Because you have caught my attention. I noticed you, even when you were somewhat younger than you are now. And then I started seeing you again and again. Got myself thinking about you quite often. So I've decided that I wish to possess you. Eh? Wait, what? Oh my god. You will become my companion. Other humans will envy you, but no one will dare to cross you. My name will open any door you like. In return, you will satisfy my every whim, and I will do with you as I please. Well, it's the first time anyone has said that to Randolph, and Ralph has never had that happen either, unfortunately. Octavia rises from the throne, the hem of her dress lifting up to reveal her elegant slender leg. You know the history of this throne, yes? My ancestor Sir Milanides used to sit here during the rebellion of Magra. Can you imagine that? Sir Milanides made decisions that transformed the entire empire. All from this very seat. Now it's gathering dust in this vainglorious art gallery of my father's. Come to me, human. Octavia waits for you to do her bidding. One does not argue with an Arachnean. Since the dawn of the Empire, they have taken whatever they wanted. If you refuse Octavia, daughter of the Archduke of Magra, you will insult her greatly. If you submit to this Arachnean woman, if you become her plaything, everyone will know you are in the good graces of Lady Milanides herself. As a human, what more could you possibly dream of? Yeah, well, does she have a twin sister? I mean, if I can dream, you know. You recall your chance encounters with her from the days of your youth to more recent times. What are your feelings for this exceptional Arachnean lady? What does she truly want from you? If you're willing to enter into a perilous romance with Octavia, perhaps you could do it on your own terms, returning her affections while keeping your honor. Would she defy all the traditions of old for you and recognize you as her equal, even if only in secret? No way that is gonna happen. Octavia arches her back on her father's throne and waits for you, her slender hand beckoning you closer. Roof. Oh, I'm having too much fun with this game. Alright, so if I submit to her, the reputation of my family goes up. I have a very important patron, and the relationship with Octavia goes up. Let's go here. If I reject her, Octavia becomes scorned, relationship goes down, and it costs me willpower. I don't want to insult her. I like this one. Insist on being treated as her equal. We've grown close, so she's not a patron. Willpower is -5. I don't get the family boost, but the relationship with Octavia is +2. You can call me Daddy, Octavia. You give Octavia your answer, looking her straight in the eye. You've been in love with her ever since you were young. Enchanted by her beauty and grace, every chance encounter a treasured memory. And you know this feeling is mutual. To you there is no greater honor than Octavia's affection. But you cannot sacrifice your honor as a nobleman for the sake of this love. You do not mean this as an insult. On the contrary, Lady Milanides is far superior to you, it is true. Yet you, too, are of the noble estate. You cannot accept humiliation, even if you must face the full extent of the Milanides' ire. You will reciprocate Octavia's affection, not as an obedient plaything, but as a man and a noble. Your impassioned speech ends, and you steel yourself to face her wrath, but to your surprise, Octavia seems lost in thought, her eyes downcast. Nobody denies me. I'm not used to this. You are a remarkable human indeed, Randolph Brante. Yeah. I've noticed this ever since we first met. Your words echo in my heart. You do not follow the usual rules. Any other man would have been groveling at my feet by now. Perhaps you can be my escape from this stifling, sickening world. So be it. I choose a human as my lover, and I care little for what the aristocracy of this twins forsaken province has to say about it. I'll take this as far as I like. Oh my goodness. But you will be safer if our affair remains a secret to the world. Now come to me, my sweet human. Whoop whoop! Whoop whoop! You draw closer to Octavia on the throne. She reaches out for your face, caressing it gently and carefully as though touching a human for the first time. A moment passes and suddenly her arms wrap around your neck and her legs lock around your torso. And she pulls you closer to her with all her might. You do not resist the Arachnean's assault. Her embrace leads you to the throne. Yeah, quite literally. Okay, so we're doing a number on this throne, really? Like, this is the first time that Octavia and I have sex and it's on a throne? I mean, you could do worse. So, how do you like the seat of the great Sir Milanides? Just a piece of wood, don't you agree? Uncomfortable too, but luckily it's spacious enough for the two of us. Octavia's ravenous lips find yours as her hands free you from your fashionable attire, your entire body shivering with excitement. You caress her skin, tender and azure. You commit her to memory, studying her, trying to understand her. Octavia's eyes are dark as the starless sky, sparkling with delight from your sweet transgression. Why does she seek this pleasure with you? Why would she humiliate her ancestors and her very dynasty by having an affair with a human? Seeing you preoccupied, Octavia gently pulls your head up by the chin. She kisses you passionately and her lips start moving down your half-naked body. Oh my goodness. YouTube is gonna demonetize me and I'm not even monetized. Her inhuman passion swallows you. Yeah, that's open for interpretation. And overtakes you until the vast throne room of the Milanides dynasty echoes with the last of her ecstatic moans. My goodness. Then there is a silence, save for the sound of your heavy breathing. Octavia caresses your back slowly, then playfully pushes you off the throne. The Arachnians watch you from the portraits, their faces as dispassionate as ever. Oh man, imagine that she gets pregnant. Is that possible? Can an Arachnian get pregnant from a human? I have no idea. What have I done? Plus, what will that offspring look like? Because the Arachnians have blue skin. Octavia returns to you at dawn, now wearing a modest black dress, her hair in a formal bun. It's time for you to leave, Randolph. The Archduke will return to the castle soon. I will visit Anisadi now and again. Several estates there belong to me. We will meet there, safe from prying eyes. You leave Serpent Verda with your head spinning and your heart racing. The day it takes to return to Anisadi passes like a single moment. When your family asks you about your visit to the Archduke, you evade the question. Evade the question? I'm gonna brag about this to everyone. From that day forward, your heart aches sweetly, yearning for Octavia's letters. And when it is time for a brief tryst, the two of you disappear to one of her estates. Give in to your secret passion. There are days when your love and your lover seem but an illusion. Something gone forever, but soon another note arrives and the affair continues, only to be cut short again for an unknown time. You've stolen the heart of the most beautiful and high-born Arachnian lady of Magra. Only one nagging thought casts a shadow on your love. What will be the price for this insolence? Yeah, and you know what? Like when my brother Stephan was having an affair with a woman he was not supposed to have an affair with, like I told him like, hey, think about the family, I thought you were noble, you douche, and look at me now. Oh, I love this. We do need to gain willpower though at some point. Let me throw a case here and there so that I regain willpower. Your home has been much more peaceful for the last year and very boring. The fights between Stephan and Gloria are not as fierce now, but how long will that last? Your job takes up all your time, you see your parents and siblings less and less often. Sometimes you don't even know what they're doing while you deal with the constant stream of duties. This morning you head out on urgent business. You take one step out of the gate and run into a uniformed gendarme. Randolph Brante, your presence is requested at the prefecture dungeon. Oh boy. Taken aback, you ask what this is about. We have your brothers, Stephan and Nathan, in a cell. They were arrested last night at the Steiner's Inn. They asked us to send for you. The cells in the prefecture dungeon are cold and damp. The guards lead you to the bars, and behind them you see Nathan huddled in a corner. Your younger brother is unshaven, more disheveled than usual, reeking of wine and filth. Near the cell you see Stephan grimly sitting in a chair. You guess that the gendarmes thought it best not to put him in the same cell as his low-born brother. Upon seeing you, Nathan lets out a whimper and Stephan cracks a bitter smile. The sheet on your brother's belt is empty. There you're at last, Randolph. Have a look at our younger brother. Yesterday he got drunk in the company of some dubious fellows. They're commoners, yet they dared to surrender to pleasure. They started a brawl, wrecked the inn, harassed the waitresses. As soon as I heard, I rushed out to save this drunkard from shame. Nathan cowers in the corner, horror struck. I walked in and demanded that Nathan come with me, but his cronies wouldn't let me go. That is not true, you just grabbed me by the collar and dragged me after you. You nearly suffocated me. Shut your mouth, cur. So, brother, they seem to have some sort of sect. They all shouted defamations against the twin gods. and one of them grabbed me by the arm. I was forced to skewer this heretic with my sword. I hope a lesser death will teach him never to lay his filthy paws on a nobleman. He was just trying to talk to you, Stephan. Silence! Then the gendarmes barged in. Here we are. We've been accused of an unlawful murder. Apparently the new laws allow killing a commoner only if he attacks first or wields a weapon. They say that in the event of an insult, I'm supposed to file a complaint with the prefecture. Now they're going to seize my sword for a whole year. What a shame. It's all your fault, Nathan. Stephan gives the bars a furious kick. Nathan covers his face with his hands in despair. Randolph, brother, you're our only hope. Give me my sword back and get us out of here and fast. We have to bury this sordid affair as deep as we can before anyone finds out. Save our family from shame. Oh boy. Okay, so we can use our authority. This gets our brothers out. It gives me +1 eloquence, and justice goes down. We can't take them to the Inquisition, luckily. Although that would actually... Oh wow, that would improve the relationships with my brothers as well, okay. Blackmail the judge. We cannot do that either. We can ask father for help. This lowers my relationship with my dad. It gives the family reputation a hit. Unity as well. That's not good. And refusing to help gives the family reputation a hit as well. It gains me willpower. Yeah, I cannot do that. Just gonna get him out. You command the gendarmes to give the nobleman Stephan Brante his sword back at once. He has not broken any law and must be freed. As for Nathan Brante, you will personally cover the damages the inn has sustained. There's no reason to keep the son of a noble family behind bars. But, Your Honor, Sir Stephan ran that man through right before our eyes. The law says... You glare furiously at the captain. That commoner, a heretic no less, dared to assault a born nobleman and grab his arm. Or does Linnet claim to know the law better than Judge Brante? Remembering his position, the gendarme nods obediently and returns Stephan's confiscated sword. I knew I could count on you, Randolph. You aren't just my brother. After all, a nobleman yourself. You know that honor is always paramount. Stephan sheathes his sword reverently, as Nathan is led out of the cell. The elder brother takes the younger by the scruff of his neck and pulls him to the door. Nathan staggers and shuffles along limply. You manage to conceal the disgraceful occurrence from all of your relatives, with the exception of Sir El Borne. The Prefect is very displeased with your abuse of power, but needless to say, he does not order his nephew Stephan to be returned to his cell. Back home, Stephan starts lecturing Nathan. From now on, there will be no more drinking bouts or other nocturnal exploits. Who are those rogues you've befriended anyway? Stop shaming this family. If you're so worthless, at least let others go about their business in peace. Do you understand, you blockhead? Nathan remains silent, staring despondently somewhere above him. I mean, we're still sympathetic with August, so... Justice goes down a little bit, that's okay. I mean, I don't want the family or the family unity to take a hit, so... Great, a case where religion is involved. It's exactly what I was waiting for. Your most recent year of service at the prefecture has seen an increase in litigation on crimes against the church. More and more people are joining the ranks of the new faith in Anizotti. The movement began with destitute beggars who had nothing to lose, but for years now many well-off commoners and new nobles have been joining the fold. People say the leader of the new faith in Anizotti is Father Leonard, the abbot of the temple at the Silver Tree. The city's leaders would love to expel him, but he's too highly regarded by the common folk. Complaints and cases of defiance of one's lot keep pouring in. Every day somebody is reported by their neighbors for heresy. Many commoners, adherents of the old faith, fear that such flagrant defiance of the lots will usher in prophesied wrath of the gods. However, you and the other judges have no choice but to reject most of these cases. As a secular institution, the prefecture has no authority when it comes to crimes against faith. Only the church and the inquisition have any say here. In the middle of another busy day at the prefecture office, the door suddenly swings open. tall gendarme wearing an officer's uniform walks in. He takes off his helmet, adjusts his short fair hair, and bows to you hastily. Captain Linnet reporting, Your Honor. My boys finally caught Father Mark, the dreaded apostate heretic. The Prefect told us to take him to you for judgment. You, bring him in. Two gendarmes bring in a short, stout man wearing a worn, dirty priest's cassock. Priests wear the sacred symbol of the twins, a cross within a circle. This man does not. Forced to sit before you, this odd-looking priest is nonetheless strangely undisturbed by his arrest. His eyes, curious and glimmering with life, study you intently. This is him, Father Mark in the flesh. We caught him trying to preach the teaching of his smack in the middle of a drinking hole for the lowborn in the Grey District. Some guy took offense and called for the gendarmes, and we got there right away. Father Mark, you've heard the name ever since you were a child. His cult of rejection of the twins has expanded tenfold over the past several years, with nobles, commoners, and even other priests joining the flock. The Inquisition has hunted this heretical apostate for years, but Father Mark has always eluded capture, till now. Some say he has powerful protectors. Here are statements from people at the establishments, Your Honor. You flip through pages of handwritten statements. Father Mark isn't just preaching. He's openly defying not only the lots, but even the twins themselves. Father Mark teaches that the gods have neither design nor purpose for us, so we're under no obligation to serve them or prepare our souls for the hereafter. You put the papers away, ready to question the profane priest. What was the subject of his sermons? What was he trying to convince his listeners to do? Father Mark prefaces his answer with a dazzling smile. As a judge, it is your duty to enforce secular law. You know as well as I do, I've broken no such law. I'm a priest, my friend. In the Empire, priests are allowed to preach. I was preaching the proper way to live one's worldly life, for this is the only existence we have. I told my listeners not to waste their lives serving those gods. The twins surely love us, but alas, their law violates us as much as their law. This entire world is proof of that. I see my words upset you, but I'm afraid you can't judge me guilty for that. Here's why. You see, mine is a priestly lot. The judgment of the church is to be trusted, which means that only the Inquisition tribunal may find me guilty. So you could hand me over to those black-clad thugs, but alas, you will get absolutely nothing in return. The Inquisition wants to light their pyres in every corner of Anizotti. All they need for that is me. As soon as they get me, the Inquisition will start the Prefecture to step aside and start enforcing the law themselves. Is that what you want, my friend? So what are you to do with me? Well, let's think about it. As a secular judge, you can't judge me guilty. Giving me to the Inquisition will weaken the Prefecture. And so, my friend, everybody will be better off if you just set me free. Trust an old philosopher. Better for me, better for your Prefect, better for you as well. Surprisingly, the gendarme captain smiles knowingly at these words. He leans over and whispers a few words into your ear. You cannot help but notice the scars all over his neck. I say the old heretic's right, Your Honor. If he's still got the priestly lot, it's the Inquisition's problem. It's too dangerous for the Prefecture to meddle in churchly affairs. Strictly between you and me, if the reports I've been getting are to be trusted, this here Mark's been rubbing elbows with the Patriarch Cassius himself. Letting him go might get us on his good side, and Sir Patriarch's a very wealthy man. But suddenly the captain's voice trails off as the door to your office opens without warning. There is a young woman at the door, clothed in a black cassock, bearing the telltale silver seal of the Inquisition. Oh, here we go. I'm Sister Jean, Your Honor, and I serve the Order of the Inquisition. Yeah, this is the girl I think we met at the Silver Tree when I was like a lot younger. When I was still in school. That stern face, those piercing brown eyes, they seem somewhat familiar. Of course, this is the young acolyte girl from the temple at the Silver Tree, the one you saw during that school visit. She's an inquisitor now. Your men did well to track down and arrest Father Mark. Splendid. We've been hunting this false preacher for a long time. As I'm sure you know, priests may not be judged by secular laws, Your Honor. Mark has denigrated twins and called for the people to reject them. He has broken his sacred vows and defied his lot. He will face the tribunal of the Inquisition for his transgressions. The man before you is a great threat to the people of Anizotti. Judge Brante. His words lead people astray, his speeches doom them to eternal suffering at the foot of the pillar. Only the Church knows the way to end this heresy. You will hand Father Mark over to me at once. Sister Jean remains in the doorway, wordlessly refusing to leave the prefecture without the captured heretic. The gendarmes and the captain still stand, awaiting your orders. Father Mark is lounging in the chair, enjoying himself and eyeing you curiously, waiting for your decision in this contentious situation. Okay, so this is a pity. We cannot prosecute the case with the Inquisition. That would be interesting, actually. It would give my career a boost. We can't set him free because we don't have enough scheming. We can hand him over to the Inquisition, justice goes down, theology goes up. Or we can judge him ourselves, my career goes down, justice goes up, and diplomacy +1, man. Yeah, so I don't care so much for the theology +2. Justice is gonna go down anyway, I don't care about the Church either. So I might as well, this is gonna hit my career, but I might as well have the justice go up then. I guess I'm gonna judge him myself. This is gonna make a big mess. You order the gendarmes to put Father Mark in jail. The priest just shakes his head slowly and sadly. The gendarme captain smirks slightly as Sister Jean and tells his men to put the priest in shackles. As you wish, Your Honor. The mere sight of Father Mark being taken away by the law sends Sister Jean to an apoplectic fit of rage. Wow. I thought it was an apocalyptic fit of rage there for a moment. Probably similar. How dare you defy the judgment of the Inquisition? You have no right to judge a priest. Not even such an erring heretic as Mark. Only other priests may pronounce judgment upon a priest. You have clearly forgotten your own lot, if you see it otherwise. Know this, Sir Brante, the Inquisition will not forget this outrage. We will do whatever it takes to get you dismissed. After Jean finally storms out, you head to El Borne's office. Thanks to the firm guidance of the Prefect and your verdicts as a judge, the rule of the law in the province has been on the rise. Even nobles can be seen falling in line and acknowledging the Prefecture's authority. Would this be the time to take another step forward and make the priests acknowledge secular law just as they accept the divine law? That was quite brazen of you, Brante, defying the Inquisition like that. Would cost you dearly. But I'm on your side in this matter. Father Mark will set an ideal precedent. A priest judged by the Imperial law rather than a church tribunal. The man you caught is an apostate and a heretic, so the Inquisition will provide no legal defense. This all but ensures a guilty verdict. Permission granted. Brante, prepare the case. To ensure that the Inquisition has no time to intervene, you schedule the trial as soon as possible. But even with these precautions, the courtroom on the day of the trial is a strange sight to see. Outraged priests and the odd-looking commoners fill the stalls. Now and again you hear their cries. Some demand you hand over Father Mark to the Inquisition, while others shout in support of the apostate. Mark himself is quiet and utterly calm, his arms folded across his chest. The time for the verdict has come. Instead of heresy, you accuse Father Mark of inciting rebellion against the Emperor's rule. In his sermons, Mark told people to reject the twins, but the Tempest dynasty was chosen to rule by the twins themselves. Therefore, his call to reject the twins represents an act of rebellion against the Tempest dynasty and the Emperor as a whole. You thus conclude that Father Mark is an insurgent and a traitor, a crime that falls within the authority of the Prefecture. Your speech has the Board of Justice backed against the wall. Despite their better judgment, they are now obligated to side with you instead of the Inquisition. Through clenched teeth, they accept your arguments for persecuting Father Mark in a secular trial. Verdict has been rendered. Well then, Your Honors, I hope your ambition has been duly satisfied and your authority duly enforced, but alas, every single one of you is still a puppet of the alien will of the gods. It's time to hand me over to the Inquisition. After all, only the Church knows the proper punishment for me. The gendarmes unceremoniously stuff a gag in Father Mark's mouth to protect society from his heretical notions. Sister Jean is waiting right outside the courtroom, an inscrutable expression on her face. She takes custody of Father Mark, now a convict, and leads him to the dungeons of the Inquisition for his long overdue punishment. Shortly after, you learn that your father was one of the judges on the Board of Justice. Wait, they're not known? That was some trial, and it was led by my own son of all people. Priest convicted by the prefecture. Our province has never seen anything like this before. Many judges are bound to hold a grudge against you for making us clash with the Inquisition, and as for me, I'm proud you saw the case through to the very end. We will succeed no matter what fate has in store for us. Okay, we need to keep this career thing in mind. We're at Commoners are protected, so this is fine. This level is fine, as I said in previous episodes. I don't want Commoners to seize power, but they can be protected, that's fine. But my career needs a boost somehow, and my willpower too. And that brings us to a new year. And that means we're gonna put a cut in the episode here. If you're enjoying this, by all means, hit that like button. If you want to support my escapades with Octavia, hit the like button, okay? I need your support on this one. Subscribe if you want to follow along. See what else I'm gonna get done with her. All the exotic locations that I'm gonna have sex with Octavia. Thanks a lot for watching. I will see you in the next episode.